Thank you. They're applauding. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. They're not applauding me, of course. They're applauding what they're going to eat today, which is...
That's right.
Egg foo young, right? When was the last time you had egg foo young? We're excited about the egg foo young because you probably haven't had egg foo young since the 70s. And don't feel bad because, you know, the way it works, Cantonese food was really the first type of food that most of us Americans were introduced to way back in the 40s. And by the time we were young and growing up in the 50s and 60s and going to the Chinese restaurant with mom and dad, we were eating a lot of Cantonese food, which is egg foo young. And it's great, but it's just that over the last 10 or 20 years, we've been trying the Szechuan and the Hunan and all the different types, but that doesn't mean we don't remember the great dishes like egg foo young. So you know what? Let's get started right away because we don't want to keep you any longer from the egg foo young. Now over here, let's take a look. We're going to make egg foo young today with shrimp. You can make it with anything you want to. You can use shredded pork, leftover chicken, whatever you know suits your fancy. Today we're going to make it with that wonderful shrimp that you just saw right there. Now here's what we'll do. First of all, we're going to marinate our shrimp a little bit. So we're going to chop it up a little bit because, as you know, egg foo young, which is, you know, essentially an egg pancake, really, is several ingredients, really, that are all put together. So what we will do is we're going to cook up this shrimp, and I'm just going to slice it up a little bit here to make it a little bit smaller than it is, so that there's a little bit more shrimp per pancake, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna first of all cut it up. Just, you know, take each shrimp. If each shrimp is in about 4 pieces, that should be about what we would need for this. And then we're gonna make a little marinade right here, which is gonna be a little bit of sherry. All right, a lot of sherry in Chinese cooking. Yeah, about 2 tablespoons there. Let's put it all in. Let's put it all in. What the heck? I was about to get real arts and craftsy there and exacting, which, you know, always gets me in trouble. Why mess with it? Let's just put it all in. A little bit of sugar and a little bit, folks, a little bit of cornstarch. We're going to put in there just to thicken this just a little bit, and it works really as more of a, we could say an adhesive agent, if you will, to make sure that marinade sticks to our shrimp. Okay, so right now we're just going to leave that shrimp in there. Okay, so that's going to sit there. That is going to sit there for you know, probably about 5 minutes is all you're going to need on that, folks. About 5 minutes on that shrimp. So once we've done that, we're actually going to come over to our vegetables because vegetables are a big part of egg foo young. Always are. I'm going to do one of my little fancy things here, Greg. I'm going to do my fancy one. Okay, I'm going to cut into this piece of onion here. I'm going to cut in because I don't want these pieces too big. Nothing's going to be too terribly big here in the egg foo young. We want more distribution as we can. So I'm just going to go down about 3/4 of the way into this onion, put it on its side, and then we do this a lot on Man in the Kitchen. We have kind of an instant little minced onion because you want to mince your onion here, not to be confused with coarsely chopped onion. And that's about all we're going to need right now. That's about all we're going to need. So we've got our minced onion. Let's put that down there. And then we're going to take our scallion. Scallion. You say, you call it scallion. I call it green onion. Okay? We're going to do kind of the same thing. Let's just go this way with it. See that? Just go that way with it, and then go this way with it, because that's going to be a little bit smaller. Green onion. Okay? Some people call them scallions. We just call them green onions. Because when you go to the store, go to the produce section, and you say, where are the scallions? You know, they may not know what you're talking about, but here, when they're talking about a green onion, they'll know what you're talking about. So there we go. All right, so there we go with the green onions. Now, we've got water chestnuts here. We only need a few of them. And folks, a little bit later, we're also making another dish today. I'll show you what that is when we get there, but we're going to use in that dish the can that these water chestnuts came in. Is going to be part of our mechanism. Intriguing. It's intriguing, as Mark Cam's. Ooh, riveting. Okay, so here we go. So those 3 things, once they're cut up, we're going to do this in stages. We've got to wok, and folks, again, you know, on Man in the Kitchen, when you see that we're cooking Chinese, those of you neat freaks always cringe a little bit. You send the kids out of the room, you say, no, everything we've ever taught you is going to be undone if our kids watch Man in the Kitchen today because he's got that ugly, horrible, disgusting wok. But this wok is 15 years old. It celebrated its 15th birthday. Thank you very, very much, and the wok thanks you. 15 years old, and it's got to look like this. Get a close, get an extreme close-up, Greg, please. It's got to look like this, okay? Because if it doesn't, you know, it's seasoned properly. Look at it, it's black. That's what you want. It's black, and look, we put that. Look at that oil. It's beginning to shine just right. But we're going to do this in stages today in the good old wok that never dies. We're going to do this in stages because this is what you want to do with egg foo young. So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to grab this whole darn platter and come over here, and I'm going to, whoa! There it goes. There goes the Emmy. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Baker, we would have given you an Emmy, but you had too darn many mistakes in there. You're dropping too much stuff on the floor. So there we go. But anyway, nonetheless, here we go. We're going to put the the onions, and right here inside, and in the water chestnuts, onions and water chestnuts. And we're only going to do this for about a minute. This is what's kind of fun about this, is it's a constantly moving, constantly entertaining, always giving, never taking recipe of egg foo young.
Smells good.
So, and Greg says it smells good, so we're happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, once those have done their job, we're actually going to put in the mushrooms. Now, this is Cantonese style, and because Cantonese style was so big in the 60s, we're going to use the button mushrooms, not the shiitake mushrooms. We're using the button mushrooms because button mushrooms were more notorious. And this is kind of a retro show, I've decided at the last minute. When I couldn't get the shiitake mushrooms, I decided, this needs to be a retro show anyway, so we're going to go retro on this. So retro's more the theme than using the true ingredients that would be used in China, which would be a shiitake mushroom as opposed to a button mushroom. But we're kind of thinking of something that you would have eaten while you're watching Dragnet or the FBI or Bewitched, or what are some of those other shows? And Peter Gunn, you would have had button mushrooms eating your egg foo young on your TV tray, right? On your TV tray, set up, watching The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone, and that would have been it. Okay, that was only about a minute or two, folks. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take it out and put it into a bowl, because we're letting these things cool. We're cooking them in stages here. Eventually they're going to be a part of just a big old pancake, okay? But right now we're taking them out in stages, and that's it. Okay, and one thing what we could do right now too is, real quickly, just because I want to show you, I want you not to be confused at all what kind of show this is. I want to let you know this is an egg foo young show. And what's a big ingredient in egg foo young?
Eggs.
Eggs, thank you very much. So we got this beautiful bowl here we're going to use, and we're going to put the eggs in here. And it's not just eggs, folks. All right, it's not just eggs. One thing about the Chinese people is they know what the heck they're doing when it comes to cooking, and they've had years and years, as we know, thousands of years to perfect this stuff. So when they put together egg foo young, they put in all kinds of cool things, including, once again, our friend Sherry. Okay, so we put a little Sherry, not to be confused with Sherry Underwood, but Sherry the drink, but that doesn't mean we can't give Sherry Underwood a big hand. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Our kitchen assistant, Sherry Underwood, always giving. We all love her. Everybody's favorite kitchen assistant, Sherry Underwood. So there she is. So now we've got Sherry to the side. We've got Sherry in the and you people at home are like, what is he doing? Well, he's doing a little egg foo young. So we got a little Sherry. We're going to put a little bit of salt in there. A little bit of salt, okay? And we're set now. Now we're going to let this sit for a minute, and right now we're going to go continue making these nice, wonderful ingredients that are going to go into our egg foo young. So we've got the mushrooms. Let's put this just right here. We've got the mushrooms, and we've got the watercress going over there. Now, it has happened. The moment has arrived. The shrimp have been marinated for enough time. Let's go ahead. A little bit of oil, not too much in Chinese cooking, not too much oil. But let's go ahead and we'll put these in. I'm going to get too much of that marinade in, not too much. So I'm just going to sort of drain it as we put it in. Doing the right thing, it's making the right noise. Oh my gosh, we love it. I'm telling you folks, it's good. Shrimp, raw shrimp that we're cutting up, marinated just right, and it doesn't take much time. Doesn't take much time to cook shrimp. How do we know when shrimp is getting cooked? Turns that pink color that we love so much. Turns that pink color. And as you can see, you can see that the marinade, of course, with that sherry in it, and of course with just a little bit of the natural moisture that comes with the shrimp, you're going to be dealing with a little bit of moisture here, but when this hot wok, it's going to cook down a little bit. So don't worry about it too much. And one thing you want to do, Sherry, that's probably why we got those shrimp dry first, because you want to get away, dry these things down before you cut them up and put them in the marinade, because you want to get rid of the water as much as you can. We don't mind the moisture if it's sherry, but we don't want the moisture if it's just water, so that's no good. Then, when those look like they're pink, go ahead and throw in the sprouts, okay? Because the bean sprouts are a big part of egg foo young. What would egg foo young be without bean sprouts? Bean sproutness, egg foo young. If you can say that fast 10 times, then I've got a job in the circus for you. Oh, and here we go, folks. This is it right here. So far, it's kind of a healthy dish, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, don't turn the channel. Yeah, we don't need to put any butter in this. All right, and I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put this in here. So let's go ahead. And why are we doing this? Why do we keep taking it out? Cooking it, taking it out, cooking it, taking it out? Because we want it to cool. We're cooking it in stages, and we want it to cool down in between stages. Now, it's starting to smell like the egg foo young that I remember so well from my childhood. All right, now we're pretty much in good shape. We can now, what you'll do at home, folks, you'll cool this down a little bit better than I did, or I'm about to not cool it down, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, just stay with me. It's man in the kitchen. You want this to be cool because if it's too hot, it's going to start cooking the eggs prematurely, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get everything ready, then we'll put these two together, then put them in here. So here we go. We've got a nice flat pan here. You can just use an oversized frying pan is what you're gonna do ideally. Okay, and then just make sure that you got enough of your oil covering the bottom there. Now that's ready to go. Now that we know that's ready, let's go ahead and mix all our ingredients together here. And we'll use one of these that we didn't use in the wok, and there we are, folks. Okay, we've got everything. We got the shrimp, we got the bean sprouts, we got the mushrooms, we got the onions. Everything's together right here. All we gotta do is ladle it into our pot over there, okay? I'm gonna take this off the heat. And where's a little ladle? Do I have one? Yes, I do. It's right here. Here we go, folks. Yeah. Oh, man. Because this, the reason we cooked all this stuff ahead of time, this isn't the time, okay, nor the place, no, this isn't the time to cook the ingredients, because you're just gonna be cooking all you're really doing right here is you're just cooking the egg, and that's, that doesn't take much time, really, as you'll find. Now, while that's cooking, we have something that's fun. Here's my favorite part, folks, my favorite part, okay? We're gonna make the gravy that goes in here. So what you're gonna do, gravy, there's gravy to egg foo young. You're gonna add a little bit of chicken broth, okay? Add some chicken broth to your wok, all right? So the chicken broth is, chicken broth to your wok, chicken broth to your wok, chicken broth to your wok. I would say it 5 times, but it only takes 2 seconds to change the remote, right? Right? It only takes about, it doesn't take much time for you to turn the channel. So I'm hoping what'll happen here is I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to get this to a boil, but I'm not sure. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here right now, folks. This is live TV. We don't stop, we don't cut like some of those other shows, so we don't know what's going on. We don't know what we're gonna find. I'm gonna look at the bottom of this. While that's heating up, because that has to come to a boil before we can make our sauce, I'm gonna take a look underneath here. How's that look? Hey, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn it over. All right, and this is it. I'm gonna turn it over. And folks, I'm telling you, egg foo young. Well, you got the idea. And hopefully you got more finesse than me. But there we go. I'm going to turn it over. Oh, yeah. I should have I don't know what I should have done.
You're going to hurt yourself, Baker.
That's it. That's the way that one's supposed to look. Let's see if this one will cooperate with us. Got a big, thick spatula. There we go. That one cooperated.
Go, baby, go.
That one cooperated. And that one did too. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. Because we never know. We never know on the show. We never know. All right, so there we go with that. Now this is starting to boil over here. Again, it's just all we've got in here is a little bit of our drippings, our leftover drippings. All the flavors that came to us in this particular dish are right here. So what we're going to do is we're just waiting for this to boil. We're going to add a little. Just go ahead and add the salt right now. We're going to add a little bit of. Should we go ahead and add the soy sauce? We're going to give it a minute. See, it's starting to boil. Watching the pot too. And it's the watch pot never boils, but I feel like I gotta wait for it to boil before I can do it. See, this is coming together. It's just that close to coming together perfectly. All right, I think it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna put what we'll do first here, I'm gonna mix the soy sauce. Ooh, not in that one. Let's do it in this one. Let's actually do it in this one, the one that had the sherry in it. Little soy sauce, okay, folks? A little bit of cornstarch. Go ahead and mix these two together. And then we can put a little water in here. Do we have a little water? No, we don't. So she needs a little more sherry. Come on, okay, yeah, come on, yeah. Who's arguing? Who's gonna argue? People. When I filled out the application for this job, they said, "Can you be versatile? Can you work under pressure?" And I said, "No, but I learned to. So there we go. All right, here we go. It's boiling, and here we go, folks. We're adding just simply to the chicken stock, a little bit of soy sauce. And we've got a little bit of fortified, if you want to call it, fortified cornstarch with sherry. And I think that we're in pretty good shape here. You want it to get thick enough so that you can, it'll be a gravy. I mean, that's what it is, folks. It's a gravy. So let's grab one of these beautiful looking egg foo young. Let's do 2 of them because I know whoever wants this is going to be hungry after all this. And there we go, folks. We're just going to take I'm going to put it right here, Greg. It's going right here. And we're going to put a little bit of sauce right over the top of this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay. And that's your egg foo young. Okay? That's your egg foo young. We did it. We did it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little break here because I got to clean up my wok for the next dish, and I'm going to show you something cool about steaming. And then right after that, we're going to have you know who here, huh? You know who? Dan Underwood. He's going to be here with a dessert. So don't go away. Okay, so you saw the Chinese eggplant there. You're looking at it right there, Chinese eggplant. So I'm going to show you how to steam it. Now, first of all, let me show you how to cut it up. This is really easy. This is the easiest part. You have the Chinese eggplant, and then what we're going to do is we're going to simply cut that in half like that, and then we're going to, all right, quarter it is what we're going to do, quarter it. We can probably get that pot out of the way too, huh? We can get the pot out of the way. For the camera operator here, but we're going to quarter this baby like this, and take off the end of that one, cut this one in half. And I remember from geometry class, quartering meant 4. And you know, that's it. And then put it on a plate. Go ahead and put it on any plate, okay? Any kitchen plate here. And then what I do is I kind of build this little, I get this little bridge thing going here, right? Because we got the engineering right. Now, then what we do is we come over to our pot. And I've told you that I was going to save, oh, hello, get the steam all over the place, right? I told you that I was going to show you what to do with this. This is the can from the water chestnuts, right? Taking both sides off, put that right into your pot, right in the middle. Okay, get that boiling, put your plate right on top. Okay, I don't know if you can see in there. Can we see in there? Yeah, Greg, good job, man. Greg Wyatt, camera operator extraordinaire. And for 30 seconds, that'll go, 30 minutes. That's gonna steam just like that. Now in the meantime, we're gonna make the sauce, okay? So the sauce, we start over here with our wok. I cleaned it out since we did our egg foo young. Put just a little bit of oil in there. And then what we're gonna do is you get a little bit of oil going on in there, and then we go ahead and put our garlic and ginger, which is the staples. We're kind of switching over to a little Szechuan theme here. Staples of our Szechuan cooking. And what we do is we just get to the point where we can smell it. Once we can get to the point where it smells good, okay, which is only about 30 seconds really. It doesn't take too long. Yeah, and it's already pretty aromatic right now. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put in our garlic chili paste. You can find this really at any grocery store in California. Look in the Asian section. Garlic chili paste, all right? It's gonna give it a little bite, folks, a little bite. And then we'll put in a little bit of toasted sesame oil. And you'll find that in the Asian section too. Don't get the regular sesame oil, it's gotta be brown. Toasted sesame oil. And then a little bit, about a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And just to make things, you know, in case you thought it was gonna be too healthy, we're gonna put in about a tablespoon or so of sugar, okay? A little bit of sugar, there we go. And I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt and pepper. You'll do this to taste. A little bit of pepper here too. Oh, folks, you're gonna love this. And then that is your sauce for your steamed eggplant. Now, by the magic of television, and we're hurrying because we wanna get Dan out here as quickly as we can, we've got our steamed eggplant right here, okay? So you just let that boil, you just bring it to a boiling, and that's it, folks. Goes right over the top. And you've got one fine steamed eggplant dish. Lee Underwood says it smells good. And we're excited about that. Okay, what else could we possibly be more excited about than Dan Underwood? Dan, come on in here, pal. All right, I'd shake your hand. But I'm full of wok and steamed eggplant. What's going on, Dan?
Oh, not bad, not bad. I couldn't figure out what to match with you, so I went totally off the other end, and we're gonna make some nutty caramel corn.
You found a match for me? A nutty, oh, so something nutty, he's saying.
But since this is a, man in the kitchen, it's all done through the microwave.
I thought you were kind of messing around with the microwave back there earlier.
Yes. We have a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter.
Okay.
A cup of packed brown sugar.
Okay.
You have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 cup of light corn syrup.
Light corn syrup.
And first, right, just to get it kind of in this consistency, you're going to nuke it for a minute.
Nuke it for a minute. That would be in the microwave for those
in
Salem, Oregon. Put it in the microwave.
Bring it out and go ahead and stir it up.
Now, is that on high?
That's on high.
Okay.
Just plug it in and push start.
Thank God for that microwave, huh?
Now, while this cooks another 2 minutes.
He's going back in. Folks. Dan going back in. Play by play.
We're going to go ahead and get the rest of it done. Nuts, you can put whatever you want in. Okay. Today we're doing peanuts. We have a special, equipment for this recipe.
Special equipment. Oh, look at that. Hey, it fits our budget, folks. Look at this, paper bag.
And it's easy. This really makes easy cleanup. You want freshly popped popcorn plain.
Got it.
So nothing in a bag that you pop in the microwave.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and pour that in.
So we're pouring that in.
That's about 8 cups for this recipe.
8 cups popped.
Here, I'll give you that.
8 cups popped. Got it.
This is 2 cups of nuts.
Okay, 2 cups of nuts and again, whatever you want. You have dry roasted peanuts there.
These are dry roasted cashews. Try to scratch it around a little bit.
Are they sufficiently mixed?
They will be.
All right. If not, get your hand in there, right?
Now, because we're on TV time, we're gonna let this go the minute because it should be fine if I don't kill myself.
Okay, so hopefully he'll be okay over here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's nice
here comes
and
Dan.
hot.
He's returned to us now.
Now, this is a real cool thing that I was telling Greg about earlier. This is nice and hot. You're adding half a teaspoon of baking soda.
Half teaspoon of baking soda. Now that's interesting. It's gonna help it set up a little bit here.
It'll start getting foamy, almost like you froth for your espresso.
Gotcha. Thanks to the baking soda. Ooh, it smells good. Can you smell that, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Lee can smell it yet. Over on camera too.
As you can see, it's starting to foam up.
It really does.
That's cool.
Another science experiment here.
You can use dark brown sugar, and use light brown sugar, really doesn't matter, just as long as it's brown sugar and packed.
Okay.
Once you get to this consistency, when you nuke it the rest of the way, microwave it, it'll foam up real nice. Take your bag and
take your bag.
Go ahead and pour this straight into the bag.
Into the bag, folks. This is it.
Bowl's hot. Watch it. Don't put your fingers on it.
Yeah. So straight in the bag. I like this. It's a 1 bag meal.
It's a 1 bag meal.
Only one dirty thing.
Yeah, dirty bag.
Wooden spoon.
I cleaned before.
Look at this.
And just start messing it around.
I like this, Dan. This is really cool. So it's really simple here with the bag, and
Real simple.
it's gonna be tasty too. I can just tell.
I think so. Once you think it's sufficiently mixed up, you might want to do it a little bit more. Close it up. And back to your microwave.
Putting it back. He's putting it back in the microwave, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to. It's like following a football player.
For a minute.
Quarterback.
While
Where's he
that's
going?
doing that, you're going to get a baking sheet out with a thing of parchment paper covering it.
Okay.
Needless to say, this will be sticky.
Will be. I would think so. Something tells me it's gonna be sticky.
And due to time restraints,
Okay,
that was a minute.
We're pretending that was a minute. Time flies here on Man in the Kitchen.
We're going to open it up and pour it out.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, folks. Dan doesn't realize he's blocking the camera, but he's not trying to block the camera, but he is. But now he's not, and we can see it. You can see it there at home. Oh, look at that.
Make sure that you spread out. Let it cool down all the way. And when it's done,
it looks something like, look at that. You know, I always look at something like this and I think, we should really be trying this. And what's tough on this show, ladies and gentlemen, is that Dan and I make this stuff, we get excited, we start eating it, and we can't talk. So it's a good idea to bring someone else on to try
That's
it.
right.
We've got a man here that's going to come on out. Gregory, come on out here. Gregory, give Gregory a hand. All right, Gregory, good to see you.
You too.
Good to see you. All right.
Yeah.
This is great because, folks, if you're watching the show, you know that our set looks different, and Gregory had something to do with that. He's from the great indoors. And you're also quite a singer, I understand. We can't wait to see you. Yeah, your gospel choir is going to be singing at the...
We have a performance at St. Timothy's in Laguna Niguel this weekend.
Yeah. So if you see Gregory out there in a chorus, say hi to him. Come up and say hi to him and ask him how this tasted, right? Now, what do you give it a shot there, Gregory? What do you think? I love this.
It's a little chewy.
Give us a full narrative. Give us a full narrative on what you think.
No, this is delicious.
So not too bad.
nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean, I could even cook this.
You could.
Without burning down my kitchen.
Well, you spend a lot of time in kitchens, so I'm sure your own kitchen is something that needs to be that's sure a very nice one. So this is it, folks. We are so glad. Dan, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out. Gregory, thanks for coming out and taste testing.
Yeah.
And
Excellent. Thank you.
excellent. We're going to look forward to seeing you next time on Man in the Kitchen.
Take care.
Bye-bye.